So my code begins with setting three variables: customer code, customer begin, and customer end. Customer begin would be the begin meter reading, and then customer end would be the end meter reading, and then customer code would just be the code that the customer inputs. So then the customer begin and customer end is going to be integers because those are numbers. Afterwards, it's going to print out pretty much what the user inputs. So it's going to say customer code, then it's going to show the code that the customer inputted. Same with beginning meter reading and then end meter reading. This part of the code is just going to ensure that it shows the leading zeros. So if the customer puts in 0003, it's going to show the 000 before the 3, and it's not just the 3. Afterwards, I set two variables, gallons and bill, to 0. Just temporarily as a starting number, and then afterwards it's going to be, the calculations are going to be in one big if statement. It's going to check, the first part of the if statement is going to check if the customer begin and the customer end meter readings are greater than 9 digits. So if it's 10 digits, it's going to show it's going to output that that's an invalid entry. It's going to show that gallons of water used and amounts billed are both 0. Then if the two inputted numbers for begin and end are within the range, so if it's 9 digits, then it's going to run this part of the code. The first part of that is going to check for residential users, so if it's the customer code is either lowercase r or capital R, it's going to go through another if statement that checks if customer end is greater than or equal to customer beginning. It's going to do the calculations for gallons, and then it's going to use that use the number for gallons to calculate the bill, and then afterwards it's just going to print out what was calculated. So it's going to say gallons of water used, then gallons to 1 decimal point, and then also amount billed to 2 decimal points. And then this part of that line of code is just going to ensure that there's no space in between the $sign and the number. If the customer begin is less than the customer end, it's going to go through this statement, which is for the cases where, let's say, from the test samples, it's like if the beginning meter reading is 999,997 and then the end one is 000005. It's just gonna calculate the gallons a little differently, and then it's gonna use again the gallons to calculate the bills, and then it's just gonna print out what was calculated. So the rest of the code is pretty much similar to what I did for residential, except for like for example, commercial is just gonna calculate the gallons differently. So for this one, it's gonna have the added, if the gallons are less than or equal to 4 million, then it's just gonna be a flat out 1,000 for the bill. Else, if it's greater than that, then it's gonna be 1,000 added to 0.00025 times the difference. So what's left after 4 million gallons, and then it's gonna again print out what was calculated. Same for the commercial users, similar to the residential users. It's going to have that one else statement where it's for the cases if the customer begin is greater than the customer end. Again, this thing is similar to the rest of the code for the industrial users. So if customer end is greater than or equal to customer begin, it's going to calculate the gallons. This one's going to be slightly different because it's going to have, if gallons are less than or equal to 4 million, the bill is going to be a flat 1,000. If it's between 4 million and 10 million, it's going to be a flat 2,000. And then if it's greater than 10 million, it's going to be 2,000 plus 0.00025 times the difference. And then it's going to again print out what was calculated. And then in the end, the final else statement is going to be for if the user inputted a customer code that's not either R, C, or I. So like if they put T, then it's going to show invalid entry, gallons of water used is 0, and then amount billed is 0. So to run some code or some test cases, we can start out with the customer code is R, the beginning meter reading is 44440000, I believe it was 7. Let me check really quickly. It was 3, and then 4444000135. So it's going to show that the customer code is R, the beginning meter reading, the N one, and then the gallons of water used is 13.2. The amount billed is $5.01. So if we try that again with a different case, we can do C for the customer code. We can even do capital C. 999 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 7 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 5. So it's going to show customer code is C, the 2 meter readings, and then gallons of water used is 0.8, and the amount billed is $1,000. We can do another test case, but for this one, we can put an incorrect or invalid customer code like T. Then we put 999 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it's going to show the invalid entry, that there's an invalid entry, gallons of water used is 0.0, and the amount billed is $0. So we can even try another test case where it'd be an invalid entry. So if we put R, for instance, and then put 10 digits, so if we put 999 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 digits, 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, it's going to again show that there's an invalid entry, gallons of water used is 0.0, and amount billed is $0.